It's time.
We did it. We're here. Jess, it's been forever since I've actually seen you, huh?
I know.
God damn.
I know.
What have you been up to?
Oh, man. Oh, God. I mean, where does one even start? I mean, 2020, am I right?
You tell me. Where are we starting?
I don't know, man. So what's the last you've heard of me? So I know where to kind of...
Yeah, so I remember you were hosting, you were doing like different shows, you were part of like the MTL blog scene also at one point too, and music. My biggest thing with you is music. I like the way you sing. So
thanks.
that's what I want to talk about. I want to see what are you up to, what kind of, maybe you're ready to drop something. I don't know what you're up to.
Okay, well, the past year I've been in and out of California.
Okay.
I've been freelancing, working with a lot of different brands and companies. My latest venture was with this B Corp European crowdfunding company called Ulule, or Ulule, as they say in French.
Ulule.
And I was like essentially their creative director and the face of the company for the U.S. part. So that was a huge deal for me. And it's kind of, I got thrown into the situation of like, you got to sink or swim. But I've been in the entertainment industry my entire life, so it's literally all I know. If I'm not on stage hiding behind a ginormous acoustic guitar, I'm going to be either in front of the camera, being self-deprecating, or behind the camera, producing the shit. Sorry, can we swear?
Of course, what the fuck are you talking about? This is my show, you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for the past year, I've been in and out of Cali working with Warner Brothers Entertainment, where I got to kind of be in and around the LA comedy scene, which was like a total dream for me, And we got to work with the Lakers, and then our biggest client was Bank of the West out in California.
Okay.
I mean, we were ready to open an office out there. And then March came around, and then it was like overnight, everything changed. We went from having these huge networking events and entrepreneurial get-togethers and parties, and I was in Silicon Valley, like in multi-billion-dollar mansions. I had no business being in. I mean, look at me.
No, you had business being there. We're taking over. We're going in. We're not supposed to.
I remember I had to ask my camera woman if she had a blazer for me, because I was walking in there with like my faux leather fucking hot pants and hooker boots, and I with my tits out, about to interview some like woman executive from Paramount Pictures, being like, "What the fuck is my life right now?" But fake it till you make it, and everything was all good until it was not all good, and then it's like I felt like I literally had the Quebec government issue, like it felt like they issued my warrant home so that I could come home and quarantine.
How was that? Because you were away when it happened, right?
I was away. I was in San Francisco, where it went from one day it was all hugs and kisses and, you know, schmoozing and boozing and being invited to these crazy parties with like Moet champagne, to the next day being like, no touchy, no touch. Everything got canceled, especially everything corporate, because everything is really...
Yeah, they all get scared. They don't want to be responsible.
They all get so fucking scared, and it's all politics. And so everything got canceled. We had to go home. And then weeks later, all of those clients never re-signed. And so...
Story of my life, yeah.
Yeah, and so this year in particular, the past 3 months for me have been probably the craziest time of my life. I don't know.
Good crazy, bad crazy?
Like bad.
Oh,
I mean,
fuck, really?
I know 2020 has been rough on everybody, and I'm not saying that I'm like a special case by any means. I'm actually quite fortunate that I get to do what I love. Even though I'm jobless or freelancing at the moment, I always find a way to make it work, and I realize that I'm very privileged. But so in March, I got back home from California, decided, oh, we're in the middle of a pandemic. This is a great time to break up with my boyfriend of like 10 years.
It doesn't sound like the best time.
So break up with my partner of 10 years, decide to move out to the Plateau, swanky part of town for those.
This is during the, you're like, listen.
Oh, yeah, during the old pandy. Yeah.
Okay.
and move into an apartment I cannot afford to be closer to my work as creative director, because I'm thinking like, okay, we got to find a way to spruce things up because we just lost California. And then a month after moving into my new place, lost my job.
Fuck.
As creative director for this crazy, cool crowdfunding.
And you call them back, you're like, look, I'm about to break up.
Exactly. So, and then a myriad of fucking health issues start occurring as well. So I just find myself in this like, this is such a rut. Murphy's Law, right? Like when it rains, it pours. And so I'm currently still finding myself in that situation. But I put it out there, you know, like Jess Abran's back on the market in more ways than one. And thankfully, I thought I was going to have to like rebuild all my connections out here in Montreal. But I've been very lucky, I guess. And
you still know people. You still got friends.
Yeah, I was really fortunate. I had so many people reach out to me that I had to start kind of picking and choosing what projects I was going to end up doing. And so that's what I'm doing now. I know your first question was related to music. Yes, I'm still doing music. Obviously, I haven't played a live show in forever.
Well, the fuck has.
But I'm creating music for licensing, you know, music for, you know, video games.
Yeah, so that they can use it.
Yeah.
Okay, so original stuff for them.
I mean, that's where the money's at, really.
Sadly, that is where the money's at. But you, goddamn, the way you sing too, it's your own shit. That's what I like. That's what I like. That's what I think is good.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. What's the comedy scene been like?
Well, here.
Yeah.
Well, here it kind of died. I mean, it rose up a bit over the summer when they let us come out.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of in a weird spot too. Like I'm not in the comedy scene I used to be here in Montreal. I'm kind of in a different area now, so I kind of got lucky. Like when there was limited spots, I would get them when we came back.
Yeah.
So for me, as soon as everything opened up, I was like, oh shit, everything's back to normal. So I kind of took it for granted.
Yeah.
And even the last week, I didn't know that everything was going to shut down. So I even turned down a gig. I was like, I'll take this weekend off. I've been doing, comedy 5 nights a week for the past couple of months.
Yeah.
And that was the last gig I could have done. Then everything shut down again. I had no idea. So, but it's just, the comedy scene it's dead for now. But there's podcasting. If you had set up yourself online, you could still interact with your fans, do something.
Yeah.
But a lot of people didn't. So that's what sucks.
What has been your experience with the creative community out here? Because I've been, part of my job at Ulule was I had to do when the first round of the pandemic hit and the lockdown, I orchestrated this online virtual concert across the US called, and I did not title it this. This was not me. It was called the Please Don't Stop the Music Virtual Tour.
A bunch of nerds. Bunch of nerds.
But I had to orchestrate and operate that and interview all of these artists from across the US who are doing these online virtual concerts. And I'm telling you, 98% of the creative artistic community has been like, hey, Jess, I'm feeling low-key pretty guilty about this, but I'm killing it creatively. The creative community, as far as I know and what I'm hearing, is that people are feeling insanely inspired and motivated and creative. And I have to say, I've been feeling that way too. And I don't know where it's coming from.
It's coming from the dark place of it looks like everything's ending. We felt like it was the end of the world.
Yeah.
So what do? Right? We make something out of nothing.
Do what we do best.
It's been a year of nothing. So we would create. The problem is sometimes we don't have an outlet. So I'm lucky. I consider myself very lucky. I can create and have an outlet. I have people that are watching. I could create a sketch, a fucking show. I could put it up there, a podcast. People are going to watch it. But imagine creating something and there's no one there to see it. To me, that's fucking weird because I'm used to showcasing everything. Just here, This is what I have for you. Check it out. Let me know what you think. If that doesn't exist, that's what I find weird. So people who are just starting to get into comedy or music, let's say open micers, the fact that you close that door for them and they don't have that outlet, that's super frustrating. That I don't like to hear about that. That makes me sad.
Yeah.
But the fact that, shit, man, we got nothing else to do. You got all this free time. Make something. I'm all for that. I'm with you. I think this is the time to create.
Yeah, I think so too. It's been very fruitful for me anyway. I've created more. I'm limited because I don't have my band anymore. I usually have my guys in Montreal and then my other more alt rock prog band in Toronto.
What happened to your band in Montreal?
I'm still with. So I don't know if you are familiar or have seen my Instagram, but my friend Steven Voice,
Okay.
the black guy with crazy
with the hair.
pineapple hair.
With the hair, yeah.
He's like my best friend. Like
That's fucking cool hair. You let him know I said that.
He also needs a haircut, and I hope. Is that the camera?
Yeah.
I hope anyone who's listening can go on his Instagram and let him know to shave that fucking thing off.
Cut your hair, hippie.
It's time. Yo, I don't even know how Steve sees anymore. I mean, it was cute. It was cool. It had I liked it.
The man is a salmon. He swims upstream. We can't change him now.
But you know what happens to salmon that swim upstream?
The bears get him?
Yeah. They lay their eggs and die. And the coons get them.
Yeah, sure. Raccoons do raccoons eat fucking salmon?
Oh, they're garbage animals.
When I think of raccoons, I always think of dumps. Like, I always think they're in the city, but you're right. They're probably in the goddamn wild as well.
Oh, yeah. It's where I grew up.
And there was raccoons around.
Oh, yeah.
See, I thought they were a city pest.
No. They're all over. They're like the roaches of the land.
Is it weird that I find raccoons cute?
They're my favorite animal.
Because they look like burglars.
I kid you not. They're my favorite animal ever since I was a child.
They hold stuff.
Yeah.
Which, like, I'm very, like, with little animals, I really like that. Like, they're very cute. They hold stuff with their hands. You know, like, I see them on the mountain.
They wash their food before they eat it.
It's crazy.
It's nuts. I used to have this stuffed raccoon from, like, Pocahontas. Like, you know, that little raccoon in Pocahontas, that Disney movie?
Yeah.
Wow, I don't know where I'm going with that. I was literally just about to say I loved raccoons so much that growing up,
I want to hear it.
I used to hump my stuffed raccoon.
To hump your stuff. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. That was a left turn. I appreciate it.
Oh God, I swear I'm sober. Maybe I'm too sober.
Yeah, my thing is I have to be sober if I'm doing a show.
Yeah.
So, but most of my friends, like when they're on stage, they have to be a little tipsy.
Yeah.
So there's that balance you find. If I get a little tipsy, I'm not the same guy on stage. So it's
Yeah.
Mine is sober. I have to be sober. I got to be thinking. I got to be quick.
It's a weird balance. Usually when I perform, I usually have like a pint with me on stage and I'm already like 2 glasses of wine deep.
But is that how you're comfortable? Is that how you find yourself in the zone? Yeah.
But it's a fine balance. I can't get too liquored up because then I get sloppy.
You don't want to slur your words and yeah.
But I have insane, crippling anxiety with anything I do, with anything that I'm good at, essentially, just because I'm so insecure about it and the judgment and the fear. I've chosen quite the career path for myself for someone who's actually so like introverted.
You're not the first person to say that sitting in that chair, which is crazy. I have different, comedians, different artists, and you're not the first person. I mean, I have anxiety too, so it's weird. But sometimes you don't choose it. You're just doing what you like, and then it grows. Like I'm sure you didn't think, I'm gonna do a career in music. You were just getting better and better. You were good, and then you were doing shows, and then everything. It just happens. That's what happened to me. At least everything just happened.
It was
like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Never a choice for me.
Yeah.
It was something that started. I don't know what seed was planted or when, but it started very, very young for me. I knew that this was the only path for me. Sucked at school. Not really good at much else. If I wasn't going to be on stage performing music, I knew that a life in the entertainment industry was going to be. It's the only thing for me. So I've never questioned it ever. Do you have friends in the industry who have like, man, do you ever think about just hanging it all up and just like, fuck it and, those who can't do teach type of thing?
Yeah, well, I have very successful friends that say that.
I've never, for me, it's never crossed my mind.
If you reach a certain level, then I can understand. Like, you know what I don't like? I'm in a weird spot because I like being able to do my craft, right? I love that, but I don't want to be famous. And there's a weird line where it's unavoidable. Like, people are going to know you whether you like it or not because you can't have one without the other. So I find myself in that weird spot where I don't like to get recognized. I don't like to be famous. But if I don't continue growing, I can't keep doing what I'm doing. So it's like this weird, I just want to do it. And when it's done, like let's say I'm on stage.
Yeah.
When I perform, while I'm performing, I want you to know me, have fun. It's the second that's over, I want it to be like a job where they don't know me. It's like, Clark Kent, he puts his glasses on. Nobody knows who I am.
So interesting. Being a character and a persona on stage.
And I'm not. It's just me. It's just me. That's the weird thing. So I can't separate. So then when people meet me,
that's
they're like,
you're
the same guy.
Yeah, I was curious. I was like, do you have a persona or are you an extension of yourself or are you at maybe like 120% instead of 100%?
It's me at 11. It's just me loud. So I'll just focus on things that make me angry and I find funny, but it's always me. So I can even sometimes continue a conversation I was having backstage right when I get on stage. Like I was just talking about it and then I'll bring it up. And so it's just me, which makes it weird because it's hard for me to separate because no one's like, oh, I like that character you do. They're always like, hey, Pantelis, I agree with this or I don't agree with this and I can't separate the two because it's all me. So that's what makes it tricky because I don't like getting recognized. Every time it happens, it gets fucking weird. And for me, inside, I don't like it.
Yeah.
But my friend Poseidon, who we started bringing along with us and all that, this guy doesn't have a skill that he's using on stage, but he loves getting recognized and taking photos.
Yeah.
So we're two opposites in that end.
Wow.
Yeah. He loves just take pictures of him all day. He's going to be happy.
Yeah, I relate as someone who's like the face of very many things and living.
Yeah, you're in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I just like what is that called? Like I'm an introverted extrovert, meaning like I need my recharge time at home. I need that alone time. It's like essential to me. But then I love to like kind of like spend my battery and my juice outside in the world. And I love being kind of like the hostess with the mostest. Like I love it. It's what I do best. It's what I'm good at. I really enjoy it. But opposite to you, those who meet me kind of like off camera would be like, whoa, Jess is like really low energy. Her
it's
voice
a different
changed.
person.
Yeah. Like I'm not always like this happy-go-lucky, like smiley person. It's like my job to smile. So when I'm not being paid to smile, sometimes I don't like to smile.
Sometimes I'm sad. Yeah.
And I thrive in that dark cloud, actually. It's when I feel the most creative, which is maybe why I've been so creative during this pandemic, is because I kind of just like, I love to wallow in that fucking darkness.
You see me, I try to avoid it at all costs, but that entertains people because I see sometimes they'll meet me and they'll be like, I can't believe it's just you. I'm like, yep. Like I thought you had like a different persona, but it's just always me. But I don't like I had a long life. Like I feel like when I look back at everything I've done in my entire life, I feel like I've lived 10 lifetimes.
Oh my God, I feel the same way. I swear I've said that several times this year.
So I think every chance I get now, whatever I do, I just feel like I'm lucky to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm like, my God, how lucky am I that I've done all that had to live through all that shit, and now I'm doing this. So I feel lucky. So I try to get rid of any time there's some kind of doubt or darkness, I try to rationalize it and get it the fuck away. Because like, no, this is not the path you want to go down. You don't want to get into a negative zone. So I try to just be happy, basically. Because I know I'm here for a limited time.
Yeah.
That's the only guarantee we have. We don't know when it's going to end, but it's going to end. So I'm like, look, I'm here for a limited time. Let me be fucking happy. Let me bring some happiness.
That's
how
healthy.
I see it.
That's healthy.
I don't know if it's healthy, though. I bet you if I talk to a psychiatrist, he can tell me I'm fucked in the head. Because reality is that not everything is happy.
No.
Right? Like the fact that I say jokes, for example, my brain will automatically go to the funny part of a tragedy is not a normal behavior. I know that. I've made a career out of it, but there's no way that's normal behavior.
Would you say that you are an optimistic person?
Yeah, I can be, but I could also be a pessimist.
Okay, I'm totally a pessimist. Like I'm such a Debbie Downer.
You look at so you're glass half empty.
I'm just a realist.
Okay, well, that's what I call myself, a realist. Like, if I can see that something is obviously negative, I'll call it out. Mm-hmm. Then I'll have some friends who I think they're really big optimists. They'll always find the light in something, even when there's no light. I'm like, look, man, you're exaggerating. That's not real. In reality, that is a rape. Let's call it what it is, for example. And they're like, no, actually. It's like, no, there's no actually. Like for me, I'll always look at, well, this is what it really is. I'll look at reality, which will bring people down. But I try my best to keep it lively. I like to bring levity to any situation.
Yeah, I guess I so want to avoid being a disappointed or heartbroken or sad or upset that I always prepare myself for the worst, which is probably why I've been able to kind of like keep myself from having a breakdown this year after everything that I'm like still going through. I'm just like, okay, what's next? Bring it.
But this is good.
Sucker punch me. Let's go. I'm ready for it.
But this is good because dude, that's what life is. Life is, you're going to get these fucking random hooks just punch you in the face. They just come out of nowhere, okay? And there's some people who the second they get one shot to the face, they're done. That's it. They've given up. It's people like us, people that get punched in the face repeatedly and they smile. They're like, all right, what else you got?
We can take a hit.
We're the ones who make it.
Thrivers.
But it's true. We're the ones who make. Or else, why would I? Because the hits I've taken, like I've thought about this, and this what makes me anxious. I've thought about the amount of times that I was gonna quit doing comedy or podcasting or.
Okay, so you have thought about it.
Oh, so many times, right? And one of the times was just months before I got like my big break. So I often think back, oh, holy fucking shit. I would have been living a completely different life. Imagine if I had quit. That's why I keep telling people, like, any advice, my advice always, if you're good at something, don't fucking give up. Figure out a way to do it.
Yeah.
Don't fucking get it, because you never know how close you are. And most of the time, you're really, really fucking close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, I was going to say something. But, yeah, no, I'm definitely a realist. And I was going to ask, what is your kind of specialty box when it comes to comedy? Do you do crowd work at all?
No, I'm not a crowd work guy. Like, I'll talk to people if I have to. Like, if something's going on, I'll address it, obviously. I talk about my life a lot. So I tell a lot of life stories and just point of view stuff. And I like to surprise people. So I'll go off on something and you think, oh, I get where he's going with this. And then I'll take such a hard left where I hear gasps, and they're like, oh, did he just fucking say that? I love to do something that's unexpected and then call them out on it. So lately, before everything had finished again, I had a joke, which was a really good joke about Saudi Arabia. And I would preface it in the beginning of my set, just say, I would ask the crowd if they're easily offended. People hate hearing that. They're like, fuck no, we can handle anything. So I'd be like, all right, we're going to find out by the end of the set.
Okay, let's find out.
And then I would surprise them a few minutes later with this joke out of nowhere. And then if they would gasp and they'd be like, oh, I can't believe you said that, that's when I'd call them out. I'd be like, I thought you guys aren't easily offended. And then you'd get the laugh. So I would have that. They'd be like, oh, fuck, son of a bitch is right. He already called us out on this 10 minutes ago. We knew he was going to fucking do this. He did it and he still offended us. So I like to surprise people, but it's mostly stories from my life or just stuff I saw and I'll talk about it like on the news or something. Like, what the fuck is this? And go. But it's mostly me airing my grievances. It's like Festivus every night.
Yeah, and how much of your content is very much like premeditated and thought out and hashed out and reworked?
All of it.
Yeah?
All of it gets, I always, it's something happens to me, and then if I feel it's worthy of the stage, I'll start talking about it. And then you see once, twice, you see what works. Maybe it's a word. Sometimes a word fucks up a joke. Too many words or something. So then I'll cut that or see if people can't relate to it. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes what happens is a couple of jokes, which all start from stories of my life, they'll fit in together in a bigger story way better, even though they happened years apart.
Yeah. So
I'll be like, fuck, what if? And then I start playing around with it. And then I try it on stage one night. And I'm like, oh, this is way better. This makes it flow better. Then I'll add something else. And then it turns into something huge. And I'm like, God, this is magic. I just built this. And then you try it out. And that's how the best jokes work, is it's just over time. Just you grind at it and you make them better. And some never do. Some you try and you're like, this should have never been told to a public. And
damn, I love stand-up so much. I'm such a diehard fan for the craft and how it works and the entire scene. I could never do it.
We're all crazy people.
Oh, yeah.
We're all nuts. Sure. I've established this. I've met many comedians now.
Same.
I'm telling you, my brothers, my sisters in comedy, we're all crazy, just different levels.
Hold up. Back up a second. Yeah. Did you just say your brothers and sisters in comedy?
Goddamn right. It's a cult to me. I see it all as a
family fucking circus.
No, because I do love, like, when I meet comedians, they're my favorite people in the world.
That's rare, man.
Are comedians. I love comedians. They're my favorite people because they're the only people that I feel comfortable if we're backstage. Comedians that I've met once, let's say, we'll be backstage at a show together. I feel comfortable just fucking around with. I know a real comic, no matter what I say, they can't take it the wrong way. They won't get offended because they're comedians. They know where it's coming from. It's coming from a place of joy, let's laugh.
Love.
That kind of freedom I only get with other comics. I never have to second guess. And I've done it many times with comics I first meet. And then I break the ice and then they do the same thing and it's so comfortable. There's no prejudice. There's no, they're going to take this the wrong way, call you a this, call you a that, a phobe, a racist. None of that. They get where you're coming from. It's all for fun. So they're my favorite people, is comics.
That's unique, man, because I can't say the same for the music industry. I mean...
Well, you guys also have different philosophies.
Hoity-toity to fucking... It's all over the place.
Yeah.
And everyone's very easily offended.
Yeah, you guys... But like I said, you all have different philosophies. There's different genres of music. Whereas in comedy, you'll have like the woke comics. But to me, I don't consider them comics if they're not funny. If your goal stops being the laugh and it's to teach someone a lesson...
It's like politics. It's like,
you're not a comedian.
Doing? Yeah.
We should vote for... That's not your job.
No.
Make me laugh.
Yeah.
So no, you guys is tough. You guys, because you have so many different people, you'll get the wrong musician and they'll get offended by a fucking post you made or whatever, and then they'll write a song about it. This bitch Jess offended me. Must be crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's like stepping on eggshells. Like, God.
Is it even with musicians that you don't work with? Like you just see, like you're not in the same band, but you'll see them. You ever have this kind of? You ever have tension?
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Especially in Montreal. Like this is why, like, have you been out to California? Yeah.
All the time, yeah. A lot.
Yeah. So I feel like for us, because we're from here and then we get out there, we're just so used to this kind of, I got to get back out there, but it's too bad. Sorry, I have so many thoughts coming in at the same time. It's too bad because I feel like the whole Hollywood LA scene now has changed forever. Everyone's gone.
Yeah.
Comics are moving, actors are moving, everyone's getting the fuck out of Dodge.
Taxes are going up.
It's crazy. California's on fire all the time. Like Montreal, bars are opening, bars are closing. Like a few comedy clubs have shut down forever. It's like, what's going to happen with the Laugh Factory now? What's going to happen with the Comedy Store? I mean, one week their terrace is open, the next is closed, and it's really, really, really scary because that was, essentially my 3-year plan was like, I'm beelining from here to there. Because I feel like this creative community, to loop back to my original thought, is so small, and I feel like there's no helping hand or sense of camaraderie or family. It's just the opportunities here in the city are so limited and so small that your competition is so fucking tight. You're like shoulder to shoulder with someone who wants your job.
Yeah.
And I'm coming from the English sector too, so that niche is even fucking smaller. And so then you got to hop the pond over to Toronto, and then that whole scene's different. And
I don't know how that is for music, but Toronto for comedy, it's not for me.
The music scene over there is not my jam either. So that's why I feel like New York and LA was kind of because I feel like our work ethic here, Jesus.
It's hard. We have good work ethic, right? I feel like we fucking battle.
Yeah, which is why when I was out there, my experience anyway, was that they were very impressed with my work ethic and the amount of work that I was able to produce, single-handedly with no fucking budget. I was, making so many I couldn't believe what I was doing out there with my limited resources, and word caught on very, very quickly. Who is this little redhead chick from Montreal? She's doing so many things and she's not stopping. And I feel like that type, people like us from a small city, small town, go a long way out there, where it's just, I feel like people are so used to that environment. And I mean, no one, I guess, in LA is an LA local. That's very rare. People come from all over the world. But I just feel like because we've been doing this for so long, we just have this kind of streamlined thought of this is what I'm going to do and this is what I'm going to do to get it. And once we're in that type of environment, it goes a long way. It's where we need to be to make it happen. And it's just too bad that that's changing very rapidly now.
But we can also make it happen because of the internet from here now.
Yeah.
Right? Or I guess when things open up, New York, I like New York. I don't like, it's weird because New York, I hate so many aspects of New York. I like the culture, the comedy culture, the comedians that are there. Some of my favorite comics are there. Some of my friends are there. So I like New York in that aspect, But I hated the rat race. I hated how every time I'm down there, it's just, there's so many people and it feels overwhelming. The streets, Manhattan just going crazy.
It's a lot.
But LA, same thing. There's a lot about LA I hated. I love the weather. I hated a lot of the LA culture. And I heard so much about the comedy scene there and just the shitty parts of it. But when I was down, I remember when I had went down there with Mike Ward and we were at the Comedy Store and everyone was so, and there was nothing that they could get from us. It's not like we were producers and they wanted to be nice to us because there was nothing we could do for them. But everyone from Adam Egan, everyone was so welcoming, so nice. Everyone that we were meeting, from door guys to, it was oh fuck, if ever I would move to another city, this scene I'd feel comfortable in.
Same.
They were funny, but they were also just nice when they didn't have to, because I've been to places where people are nice because they think they have to be. there was nothing they could gain from us. We were just there as fucking outsiders for a week, and everyone was super cool. And that I remember, things like that stay with you. I remember where people were nice to me when they didn't have to be. And so I could have seen myself being part of that scene. Plus a lot of good comics are there, some of the best. Well, were there, now they all left. But so that I could see, but there's so much about LA, the culture in LA that I hate.
I hate the rat race.
Yeah.
The stereotypes are true. They're so true. And like being a woman down there in the entertainment industry, like it was such a rude wake up call for me. I was down there fucking hustling, man. I was like living, like I was like, this is it. This is like now or never. Like this is like I said earlier when I first came in, like I was ready to open up shop down there. I was like, this is where I'm going to be until when the pandemic hit. But especially the corporate world, I felt like I was just like arm candy for all these old guys, and it just really
We're getting Weinsteined.
Really, it's out every day, every community. It didn't matter who the Lakers like press event I was at. I felt like I was being passed around like a basketball. No pun intended.
That's funny.
But it was just so fucking gross. And I was just in there and, I was being told to like, booze and schmooze and network and tell them what we're going to do and smile. And I'm out there busting my ass and no one gives
Shut
a
up,
fuck.
dummy. Turn around. You're like, God damn it. That's not what I'm here for.
No one gives a fuck. They just want to know if I have a Snapchat or what my Instagram is or what I'm doing later and if I want to go to the after party. And I'm just not there for that. I'm just not there for that. Maybe if I was like 21 and new on the scene and
you didn't have work to do. You're like, God damn it, I got a job.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like flattered. And I guess in some way I am because, of course, I'm always coming out of a place of deep insecurity. But I was just like, what? Like,
well, I mean, it's definitely better than them being like, who invited the goblin? Yeah. Like, it's definitely better. But, still, you want to do your goddamn job.
Yeah, it was just like, fuck, I can't get anywhere. And like, am I going to have to like suck this guy's dick for him to actually listen to what I have to say and close a deal? Like, I don't want to have to do that. Like,
how funny would it be if you would say that out loud and the guy's like next to you is like, you said that out loud.
It's what I felt in almost every networking situation.
Yeah.
I felt like I was the company mascot, the company face, the smiley, she'll show you a good time, sign the contract because Jess is cute and she'll do whatever you want. Like it was just so degrading and demeaning. And
it's not the first time I've fucking heard shit like this.
But on the other hand, I was there long enough where I was able to find my stride and find my clique. And although the corporate world was really fucking gross, I mean, any industry in any kind of community and network can be this way. But I found myself going to the Comedy Store like 3-4 times a week. And
you felt good.
I felt at home. The comics didn't have to fucking talk to me. They didn't have to invite me out to shows. And maybe, I'm naive and like, okay, yeah, it's a chick and maybe they think they can sleep with me or something. But I felt nice. And they made me feel nice without being creepy. And I was honestly fucking surprised. I was surprised. And from there, I got to network and do my fucking job and get the interviews in. And they were very accommodating. And I felt like I was at home within that scene, within the creative scene. And I want to get that back so badly.
This can't last forever.
Felt like family.
You see, and a few minutes ago you were like, "What do you mean, brothers and sisters?" I'm telling you, in comedy, that's how I feel. But I limit it to actual comedians, and I consider comedians, like I said, people that go on stage with the intention to make you laugh. Because there's too many comics now that don't make you feel that way. They're exclusionary, they're exclusionists because they have an agenda. And if you don't agree with that agenda, you're automatically the devil. And they go on stage with that persona, that idea. Then they push that onto the audience. And then I've seen this happen a lot where they'll go on. They'll push their agenda. It won't get laughs because people are like, what the fuck, this is weird. And then when they get off stage, the same thing. This fucking crowd just doesn't get it. Well, no, they get it, but you were just angry at the government. You were angry at the patriarchy. You didn't make any jokes. You missed the mark.
Yeah, and that ties into the whole PC thing and cancel culture that's happening now.
I hate cancel culture.
Oh my God. I mean,
some people need to get canceled. Like I have, like let's say the Me Too movement, right? Yeah, of course, you're not going to let fucking rapists and shit like that run rampant. I agree with it. But it's not the same thing as someone who made a fucking off-color joke in a boardroom. It's not the same thing. You can't put them on the same plate. Be like, well, this guy once said a black joke in the boardroom. It's like, okay.
Everyone's being prosecuted the same.
It's crazy.
Like, it's insane.
There's no way to come back. That's what I hate. Is that there should be, depending on what you did, a way to, because even criminals, right? You steal something, you're in for a while, then you come out, you've served your time. So now you're telling me you tell a fucked up joke, but not for comedians, but let's say you're in a boardroom and you tell a crazy joke, I don't know, about Greeks, about Asians, I don't fucking know. And then what, you can never work anywhere again? That's absurd.
Nah, you've got this shit stain on your shirt for the rest of your fucking life.
It's crazy. Who the fuck hasn't made mistakes?
It's crazy. It's crazy. And especially for the comedy scene now. And I get a lot of shit about this because I'm a woman and I'm being, accused of being anti-feminist or like, just stick with your tribe, like pussy power, whatever. And
how is you doing what you want? Anti-feminist. Isn't it supposed to be feminist if you could do whatever the fuck you want because you're equal to everyone else? Isn't that feminism? Is there something I'm misunderstanding?
Oh,
Shouldn't you be an individual?
Yeah. Oh, there's all sorts of levels to feminism.
Which is crazy. How can there be... That's another thing that gets to me when they go, this chick's crazy, she's a feminist. And I was like, well, that makes sense. She should be a fucking... Everybody, technically, if we go by what it should mean, should be a goddamn feminist, right? Yeah. You want everybody to be treated equally.
Equality.
Yeah, that's what I was told it was when I was growing up. Like in school, that's how it was described to me. So when I hear it, that's how but when I hear she's a feminist, she hates dudes. It's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make sense. Yeah, there's like liberal feminists, Republican feminists, and like ultra feminists.
It doesn't.
Feminist light.
Yeah, why isn't it just everyone's equal? You do your fucking thing. If you see fuckery, you call it out. What do I give a shit what gender you? What the fuck do I care? What would that change?
Yeah. So I'll be like defending some of my favorite entertainers or comics. And
who have you defended that you got shit on for?
Okay, well... Okay, I don't want to get too deep into this, but for example, I don't want to like bore your listeners if it's not actually you're in the comedy scene.
Oh, so you're not going to bore anyone. What are you talking
about? Your listeners know of the comedy scene. For example, Brian Callen.
Okay.
To me, I think that's a fucking ridiculous.
You're not the only one.
Ridiculous. I mean, there are a few others, but I don't want to put my label or stamp or opinion on
a group of things. Yeah,
it's one thing. A group of things or a group of people. But that one in particular really fucking rubbed me the wrong way because there's where's the proof? It's just hearsay. And then he's gone. And he's got to cover his ass, cancel his podcast. Oh my God. It's so... crazy. It's so crazy. And then I'll defend or try and like justify something like that. And then I'll get shit for being like, always believe in women first, Jess. Believe the woman first. I'm sorry, but I know a few chicks who are also
full of shit. Yeah, I know a lot of people. What is this? I always laugh at that. Believe all women. I don't even believe all men. I don't believe all anything. That's crazy. My dog gets fucked around sometimes. I'm like, that face, you're lying. I know you're lying. Why would you? How do you believe all of everything? But Callen, it's funny because he was doing some work last month with one of my friends in Texas. Yeah. And he asked him straight up. He's an honest guy. He just asked him straight up, yo, is this true? You rape anyone? He's like, it's fucking absolutely not true. And I'm not saying that's just believing because he said it. I'm just saying he asked him point blank, he goes, look, I'm going to defend you. However, tell me right fucking now. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to talk shit about you. We'll just cut our ties. Did this fucking happen? And he's like, absolutely the fuck not. And I'm going to sue for libel or whatever he's doing now because some woman's husband, I think, is trying to get him excommunicated from everywhere. Yeah.
And that's what they're doing with everybody. And yeah, man, it's a touchy subject.
But that's different. I'm not saying it's a good thing. That's different in the sense that if you just hear rape or sexual abuse or, he did this, you're automatically, your inclination, it should be, mine would be to be like, whoa, what the fuck? And you have to analyze the situation because you're like, this isn't the same as saying a joke that's fucked up.
No.
You're telling me he may have raped someone? You have to look at it critically.
Of course.
That's normal. I don't like where's the evidence? Well, why do you need evidence? Then I'm like, oh, well, that's a little fucked up because you just said something huge. Give me something because if not, then we could just do it to anybody. Everybody could do it to me. Poseidon could walk in one day and be like, Pantelis was raping me for years. Like, just because he says it is true, it gets tricky. So I'm all for the beginning. Yeah, you got to out these people. Like, look at Harvey Weinstein. We found out for years something that Hollywood knew and didn't give a fuck about. For the record, everyone was clapping.
And then there's that.
Yeah, they knew this guy was fucking around like crazy. They knew, but we're the problem. Everyone else is the issue. These guys knew, they did nothing. They praised him. They're like, well, if you suck his dick, you will get a good role. All right. And that was cool for years. So then now when it fell on comics, what bothered me was it fell in this weird area where the people attacking them were other comics a lot of times that weren't at their level, or it looked like they were trying to just take people down from the mountain. And that fucked with me. I was like, well, is the reason why you're doing this because you think that's a bad person, or because you think you're going to gain something from their absence?
Like the Louis C.K. thing, for example.
Louis C.K. thing fucked with me a lot because I wanted to be as critical as I could. And then when I would look at the details, I'd be like, fuck, man, I'm going to sound like an asshole. But like, let's say the woman who said, I think he was masturbating on a call with me. I was like,
who was that again? Because I know there was several comics that came out.
That wasn't a comic. I think that was someone in the industry. But when I heard that, I was like, you thought he was jerking off on a call? Even if he was or he would, like, I wasn't there, but hang up, or I don't know what to tell you about that. That's not the same thing. The only one that fucked with me that I thought, it's an intern.
Yeah.
Or a girl that worked with him, but she was under him because that's weird, even if you come onto them, because the power dynamic is fucked up. So then the person's like, are they with you because, are they blowing you or whatever because they want to keep their job, or because they actually like you? So that one was fucked up. But for the other stuff of him asking comics, yo, can I jerk off in front of you? Come to my hotel. And they're like, yeah, we'll come to your hotel so you could jerk off in front of us. And then when he whips out and starts jerking off and you're laughing, you're cool with it. And then years later, you're like, actually, now that he's famous, that scarred me. But he invited you, you went and he pulled it out. You were laughing. You had like, what the fuck? I'm not saying it's right for him to be jerking off in front of everyone. But like, apart from him, how many times does he have to ask you, can I jerk off in front of you? And then you say yes.
Asked politely.
It's a crazy thing to ask. I'm surprised that anyone would ask that. I'm not disagreeing. I think it's fucking funny to be like, yo, can I jerk off in front of you? Just that question alone is hilarious.
What a psycho.
Yeah, but I can't just push away everything else around it, because I'm like, well, then that's fucking sketchy,
Yeah, it's so weird.
I don't know what to say. And again, let's say right now, it's been a couple of years where people are like, fuck this guy. Every time he tries to come back, they're going to have to shit on him and be like, I'm not going to this club because they let him perform. He's a comic who jerked off. He didn't kill anyone. Like, God damn it. When is his time done? When is his prison sentence over?
Hasn't he done, over the past couple years, hasn't he done a few shows, and haven't they been doing really well?
Yeah, they love him.
God.
He still brings the funny. He's one of the better writers. He's one of the better comics. So he's going to bring the heat, and it's not like I'm an apologist for Louis C.K. It's, if you did something wrong, you pay for what you did wrong. But you're not going to spend your whole life in this. Like, Nazis weren't fucking, like, they were like, well, let's take him to court. This guy doesn't get taken to court. Like, Nazis got to go to court and there was a trial. Yeah. This guy, no trial. Just you're gone forever. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. And again, like, the severity of the situation across the board with all these comics getting, accused of whatever is all being treated the same.
And it's not. I don't believe
it's just cancel. Like, you're canceled forever.
Well, and it depends who you are too, right? There's favoritism. Like Jimmy Kimmel and Fallon both did blackface. Trudeau did blackface. Yeah. That's all cool.
It was like a flavor of the week, like social media posts, like.
They kept their jobs. They're fine.
Yeah.
Somebody makes a joke about race and they're not successful enough. You can't have that guy perform at your club. Dead. He made a joke about Greek people. What the fuck? He made a joke. That's what he does. Like, Shane Gillis got fucked over last year. It turned into a good thing, though, for Shane Gillis when he got kicked off of SNL.
Yeah.
I think for him, it did wonders for his career. Because then he got the right fan base, people who weren't offended, and they all supported him.
I heard that. I heard that whole thing, by the way. The entire thing.
Yeah.
That wasn't bad.
No, they were fucking around a podcast. It wasn't
bad at all.
It wasn't what they made it seem. It was that asshole Seth Simons, who's this fucking failed comedian.
Jesus.
So he just picks stuff from comics he hates and he tries to get them fired from places, and it worked on SNL. And I'm telling you, Shane Gillis, one of the nicest fucking dudes. One of the nicest guys. So he attacked this guy's career because he's a fucking asshole. But it turned out, just the way karma is, he's a nobody, says Simon. I think he lives in a basement in like middle America somewhere. And fucking Shane Gillis took this, turned it around, and built a nice little fucking career for himself. So it turned into a good thing. But how crazy was that? He lost his job a day after he got it.
It's crazy.
Over a joke on a podcast that was clearly a joke, not a statement. And they said, yeah, this guy hates Asians.
Of course, the media's got to jump on it right away, and everyone associated has to apologize on his behalf.
Yeah.
And we've took the precautionary measures, and as of today, we are no longer representing so and so. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, even back in the day, Rogan, when he had gone to fight with Carlos Mencia, his agents dropped him because I think he had the same agents, and the agents dropped the guy who called out the joke thief. That's what he did. He called out a guy who was stealing jokes.
Yeah.
And they fired the guy who called him out. Like, you see some injustice happening, and then it's the mob mentality. So everyone had to jump. Like Shane Gillis, that's what I felt like. I felt like people were jumping on, like people who were extreme leftist or what, because they just didn't know the whole context. I'm like, no, I want to be part of that group. This guy's bad. He said something bad about people. Let's attack him. Let's kill him. It's like, come on, guys. Like, he's a comedian on a podcast. He knew it was going public. It wasn't a private conversation.
This is supposed to be his safe zone.
Yeah.
God.
You know what kind of crazy shit we say? Like, if you go back and look at my podcasts.
I was just saying, like, thank God I'm a fucking nobody. Because the amount of obscene shit that has spewed out of my mouth is insane.
But it only affects specific careers. If you're an actor, you can portray a pedophile. They're not going to call you for it. But if you're a comedian on stage telling a joke about pedophiles, you're a bad person. It is completely insane. Yeah. Completely insane. We're viewed as more critically than politicians.
It's ass backwards, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I guarantee if you would do blackface, you can't be prime minister. It's not happening.
Oh, God. Wild times. This coffee's great, by the way. I didn't think the almond milk
was going to do it for you?
Was going to do it for me, but it does it for me nice.
I like that.
Who is the person who delivered me the coffee?
That's Poseidon.
You guys have wacky fucking names, huh?
Yeah. Poseidon is a wacky human being. He's
Pantelis, Poseidon.
Yeah. Poseidon finds himself in, you remember how you were talking before about, like, I can't do anything else but showbiz?
Yeah.
Poseidon got a taste of it, and now he's like, I don't want to do anything else but showbiz. Like, he's the opposite. Like, he wasn't supposed to be in it at all. He fell into it. He's like, I'm never going back to the real world.
What was he doing before?
He was renting cars. He was working in sales. He was working regular day jobs.
What do you mean by renting cars?
Like, he was working at the airport for a car rental company. So he would rent out cars. So he used to have a lot of sales jobs.
Yeah.
And he's a friend of mine. You know, I knew him for a couple of years. And then when me and Mike had started Two Drink a Minimum, after a couple of episodes, because we were like the weird show on Compound Media, because we were not in New York. We were the only show outside of New York. And everything else was guest driven. So we were bringing guests. And after a while, me and Mike actually realized it first, we're going to run out of guests in Montreal.
Easily.
Especially comedian guests. That's a very specific niche. We're going to run out. And also some of the comics that we're bringing on were they weren't, we thought they were comics, but they'd be scared to talk. And we're like, this is weird. We can't do this.
Especially now in this climate. No one wants to express their opinion for fear of being canceled.
Reprimanded.
Or shit on. Yeah.
So then he's like, fuck, what should we do? Do you think we should bring in a third mic? Like maybe we'll bring in eccentric weirdos. And then I said, I have a weirdo friend. And he lives an alternative lifestyle, you know? So maybe we should try him out. We could bully him because we like to bully people. It'll be fun. So
yeah. Give him a good hazing.
Yeah, we brought him on. He was, at the beginning, everybody hated him. They wanted him off the show. They were writing us because it was just some random guy that we brought on the show for everyone. He was in the comic.
Sidebar.
Yeah.
What podcast am I on right now?
This is the Pantelis podcast. This is very simple. Very simple. But Two Drink Minimum with Mike, we started bringing him on as a third mic. So people hated him in the beginning because, look, he's just some random guy, no comedy, no web presence. Like, who the fuck is this guy? Why is he there with him?
Yeah.
After a while, people start to realize when he would start opening up about his life, that he had a weird life and that he lives a weird life. So then people start to get addicted to it. They're like, tell us more about how you spend all your income on prostitutes. Tell us, you know? Yeah, so it started to get more interesting. And then we kept bullying him, and then we realized that level of bullying, no other person could just take it. Like, any other person would have quit on us. So he stuck. He went through the motions. He would come with us. You know, he came to New York when we were doing live shows there. He came to LA, and then he became addicted to it. And now with the pandemic, he's like, I got to podcast my whole life. I got to do stuff like this because he can't do stand-up. So he wants to remain in this world.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't see myself ever going back. He feels so free now just talking and doing what he wants.
It's liberating.
Yeah.
It's like a verbal diary, except a lot of people are listening.
Yeah, it's weird when you know what happens? I don't know if it happens to you with songs. Like, if people ever tell you, like, oh, I love this song, and they'll tell you a lyric. Me, what's weird is when people repeat stories to me, oh, like, when this happened to you, And my first instinct is,
how the fuck do you know what happened to me?
yeah, how the fuck do you know? And then I remember I publicly broadcasted it, but it's always weird. Like, oh, that thing that happened to me. I'm like, how the fuck does he know? And I'm like, oh yeah, I fucking say everything. So they know.
Yeah, it is bizarre. Yeah. Although my lyrics are so obscure and like whimsical and fantastical that they're never like, it's never just it's never a real thing. It's always inspired by something, usually whiskey. But yeah, no, it is bizarre having people come to you being like, oh, this song really meant this to me, or like made me feel this way, or like, what is this song about? Is it about so-and-so or this and that? And I typically have no fucking idea, sometimes until months later, or when I hear it on the radio, or I hear it in some jingle or in a video game, and I'm just like, oh, that's what that was about. Oh, fuck.
What do you like more out of everything you do?
Okay, so another sidebar. I never do these. I did like an Ask Me Anything on Instagram last night, and I specifically avoided at least 5 different questions from like 5 different individuals, fans, followers, what have you, about music. Being like, hey, Jess, are you still doing music? Hey, Jess, so when are you going to release your next album? Hey, when's that next single coming out? Hey, are you mostly focused on modeling and showing your tits on the internet, or are you still doing music?
See, people like your voice.
And I'm just like, oh, fuck. I specifically avoided those questions because I know I haven't been playing or creating that much music as of late. But to answer your question, music will always be the backbone and the motivation of everything that's propelled me to what I'm doing now.
Okay, very cool.
It started with music. It'll end with music. It'll always be music as kind of like the backdrop to everything. And then because of that, and finding my confidence and creativity and growing through music, that I've been able to propel myself and grow and expand in the entertainment industry as a whole. Music's made me who I am. And it also keeps me humble. So yeah, music will always be kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? It just comes so easy. Yeah, I never really have to think about it. It's always just
It's your
there.
bicycle.
Yeah.
Get on it years later, you know how to ride it, yeah.
But, I don't know if you had this in your career too at a certain point where you realize like, fuck, if I can't do this, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do.
Oh yeah.
Ugh. And and I'm sure you've had this also where you feel like, oh, this is where you've had certain points in your career where it's like, this is it. I made it. I think I made it. This is it. Yes.
I always think this is it. And then it's never it. It's never it.
It's like, oh, fuck, I got another hill to climb.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was very fortunate to be like, oh, I can be an entertainment host or a travel host. And oh, fuck, I can produce and direct documentaries. And I look good on camera. Shit, who would have thunk?
Yes, there's stuff that you can do within that realm.
And I love it. I love it so much. And I'm able to learn. Like, I feel like I'm still that sponge. I'm able to just soak everything in, and I love it. And so right now I'm working with a creative, essentially a production house. And we're working with a bunch of different brands and agencies and companies. And we're creating, marketing, ad campaigns, creative campaigns. I do music videos now, which is great because I get to help other creative people behind the scenes as well as being able to benefit from being in front of the camera. I get to learn behind the camera, which is great.
You know what would be cool?
What?
I don't know if you know my buddy Justin Vin.
Maybe.
He's a musician.
Bad with names. I'm good with faces.
He was in a lot of bands here, like Rusted and like different. But now it's just him and another guy, and they have like producers and stuff. They're called Orchid, and they're doing like a lot of different sounds now. Yeah, they're pretty good. Actually, like I enjoy them a lot. It would be interesting for you guys to do a collab because they have that. Like their voice, the hype. Think about, I guess, Motley Crue type of singing.
That falsetto type of.
Yeah, exactly. Think of that and your stuff, and like a nice collab song. And then they did it the smart way, like the way they're working on their stuff now, very slowly. And they'll drop a single, and then it'll explode, and then they'll wait.
Strategic.
They're very strategic. That would be fucking interesting.
Okay.
You guys could fucking probably make it. I want to connect you guys.
Make the intro.
I'm gonna make the intro. Yeah. You guys, I think you guys can make a fucking badass song.
Really?
Yeah.
I could write a mean hook.
Yeah. Plus, because now they have that support system, and they're so into like creative input, like amongst each other, like especially with your history, they're gonna be like, all right, what are you bringing to the table? What are you thinking? And then they're very open to that.
Okay, they are. Okay, because I was going to say, are they open to collaboration?
They're open to, they're open to like you have to talk to them to understand. But like my buddy Justin, he's very much into, I just want to I don't want to put a label on the type of sound I make because I don't know what to call it. I just want it to work. This fits here. I'll change this because it doesn't fit. He was talking about his latest song, which it did well. But the original hook, he goes, would have been so shit if I didn't listen to the guy that was helping us produce it. He's like, go to sleep, think of something else. These lyrics are stupid. It doesn't work. And if they hadn't done that, they would have never come up with the catchy hook that they have now. So he's very open to, they're good musicians. Like to be a good musician, you have to be willing to grow.
Yeah.
And understand, okay, maybe this isn't working. But I think your voice with them and just doing something will be fucking cool.
I'm down.
I'm going to make the intro. I'm going to do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm very down. I'd be down to hear their sound very much. What's the group?
Orchid.
Yeah. What type of music? I know it's probably a fusion of 10 different subgenres.
They call it a fusion. Look, man, I'm telling you right now, it's fucking rock and roll and it feels very 80s inspired. But they're going to call it something else.
Yeah.
Because it is, because some of their sounds is, they're right. I guess it is a hybrid of a lot of stuff. But they're very talented. They're talented and they're...
Cool. I'm excited.
Yeah, they're good.
I love discovering new music.
Yeah, I like
Love it.
But I like your stuff too. So think about it. If I like your stuff and there's something you guys probably have shared, maybe it's talent. I'm a big fan of skill.
Yeah, and in whatever you do, honestly. And I'm finding, it's shit that I'm finding myself single in the middle of a global, zombie apocalypse right now.
Almost, yeah.
But I've realized, because I'm almost 30 now, I know, right? It's the curls. They make me look so youthful. I can't be associated, romantically or not, with anyone who doesn't have passion. Because in my brain, it doesn't compute. I'm just like, then what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're not living. I don't care if you have a passion for fucking construction or knitting or whatever. If you're not
serial murder,
if you're not pursuing like some sort of a hobby or whatever, I'm not saying quit your day job and do what we're doing.
No, we're insane.
We're definitely insane. But I can't be associated with anyone who's kind of just like slugging around and just living. What is that saying? Living to work, not working to live.
Yeah.
I just can't. I don't.
That's what they say in Greece. That's how they separate it. Is like they go, you guys in North America, you all live to work. We work to live. And I'm like, fuck, that's goddamn true.
That cuts deep.
Yeah, it definitely cuts you. Like, goddamn it, we're fucking zombies.
I can't. I've never been that way. And I've had, I don't know if it's been like, oh no, you have a family of comics. Do you mean that literally? Like your family?
Like no, like no, I just mean like no, I just mean when I say my family of comics, I just mean like my comedians.
Oh man, yeah. Okay. I thought in the beginning you meant my sister's a comic. My
no. I'm the only. There's no one in my family that's in entertainment.
Okay, yes.
I mean, I didn't even when it happened to me, I was kind of like I was scared because I was like I have no basis for reference. Everybody thinks this is crazy.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to do because even I was working in video games. I had all these other jobs before.
Same. Wait, were we both in the gaming industry?
Yeah, we met at VMC.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
So that was years ago.
What a breeding ground of weirdos.
Weirdos. I'm going to tell you a story after the podcast. You're going to laugh because I remembered something when you were on the way here and it made me laugh. But it was just, so my whole life was work life, let's say.
Yeah.
There was structure to it. There's a company, I work for it, it's simple. It wasn't all on me, right, to make everything. And then when I fell into the entertainment industry, which everything takes forever, whether it's a script, whether it's always, we're going to get to this next week, and then you hear from them 6 months later. So everything takes long, and it's all on your shoulders, and people are duplicitous, like the business aspect of it.
Big ass word.
But it was just such a weird, duplicitous, but they're goddamn snakes. No, it was a weird industry, and I had no reference to it, so when I couldn't even talk to my friends don't know anything about it, which is normal, because I didn't know anything about it. So I felt alone a lot of times. I'd be like, I don't fuck. So I would ask questions to like Mike's agent. I go to him and be like, is this the right move? Should I go to this guy? And then he would help me out a bit. And because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And it's such a weird, even now, I've been in it for a couple of years. I still think this is the weirdest fucking industry.
It really, really
ever
is.
But I feel like a rebel in it. I feel like a disturber and I like it.
Yeah, me too. I've always been the black sheep, although I'm ginger.
Yeah, you're the ginger sheep.
Okay, I'm going to bring... Okay, Did you know...
Tell me.
Speaking of black sheep, I'm actually a very weird mix. I'm Haitian Scottish.
That's your mix, Haitian Scottish?
Yeah.
A million times I could have made a guess. I would have never fucking guessed that.
I know. It's cool.
Who's Haitian? Who's Scottish?
So my dad's half black. He's like Slash, literally. Like kind of looks like him.
Oh, really?
So not like dark.
Does your dad have the hair?
Yeah.
The Slash hair?
No. He's shaved. He keeps it shaved now.
But if he would let it grow.
Oh, it would be big black
Fuck,
curls.
that's cool.
So I get the curls from my dad. But I come from a family of my immediate family, like my dad and my dad's mother, my grandmother, come from a family of light-skinned Haitians. So, like mocha flavor. But on my mom's side, it's just like off-the-boat Scots, Vikings. So I definitely inherited that. But if you were to see my sister, who's 2 years younger than me,
she looks Haitian.
We have the same features, same mannerisms, same everything.
But she's dark.
A lot of people think we're like twins, but she's darker.
That's so fucking cool.
Yeah, she's got thick brown hair, the olive skin tone. But yeah, no one in a million years would ever think that I'm I guess 25% black.
Yeah, me, my skin tone, people often don't believe that I'm Greek because I have the features of a Greek, but the tone is very light. So like when I go to Greece, I always stand out. Like I always look really, really bright. I think it's just from growing up here because when I was young, I had blonde hair. It just changed.
Really?
Yeah, in the sun, everything. It just changed.
You adapt to your environment too.
Yeah. So I think that's what it is. Also, my eyes keep changing from green to blue, even as an adult, which is, you have blue eyes. Like I don't have blue eyes. I have green eyes. And then when they say it, I look in the mirror, I'm like, they're blue right now. I can't explain why, but
okay, they're blue right now, though.
They're going to be green in an hour. So it's just weird. So people never guess. They're like, what are you? They think like I'm Northern European. But I'm Greek, full Greek.
Wow, I was gonna ask. You must be some sort. Have you done that 23andMe shit?
Yeah, and it drops the pin because it shows like the region or whatever. It's like there's Greece and it's just this, and then everything is all around Greece. Yeah. Crazy. So it's but it's just I think it's a product of my environment here because my family, who I'm like really close with, genetically, let's say like my mom's sister's kids and stuff like that, they're darker. But the ones that grew up in Canada have the lighter tones like me.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah.
It's very weird how that works. Genes.
Genes. And genes I understand. It's the fact that we could change in a single generation, like as a kid to now, how my hair color could change. That I find fascinating. I love that kind of shit.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Where the hell was I? Oh, yeah, I wanted to say, so was your, going back to our crazy career professions, was your family like supportive of you ever?
My mom, yeah.
Okay, really? My mom loathed me.
Oh, see, I'm lucky. She thought I could do no wrong.
Oh, wow.
So, but she even told me sometimes, she goes, it sounds crazy. I'm going to be honest with you. She goes, I get why people think that comedy, your career sounds crazy. However, you've somehow managed to make it this far, and everything you did, people thought wasn't going to work, and it worked. I have faith in you. And that would give me courage because I'd be like, well, fuck, there we go. I got that. Because she would say, everything sounds crazy. What you're telling me sounds fucking crazy. I don't understand what podcasting is. I don't know stand-up. How can I make a career in stand-up? None of this makes any sense. But you've made good on your promises before, so I got faith in you. You'll work this out.
The power of a mother's love.
Yeah, it helps. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my dad was kind of supportive. I was kind of like daddy's favorite growing up.
That's a good spot to be in.
But I was always super, super rebellious because I grew up, I don't know if you knew this, I'm not a city girl, although I am now.
Oh yeah, you were telling about the raccoons.
Yeah, I grew up north in the Laurentians of Quebec, like on a farm.
Oh shit, okay.
Still to this day, my mom has to go to town hall to get reception to like Facebook video chat me. Yeah. Like when I was in high school, when everyone was like rocking like CD players and when the MP3s first came out, I was still rocking like a Walkman. And then when everyone had these laptops.
You came out, you're like, I have this abacus.
I literally would be writing my essays on a typewriter. Most of my old lyrics, essays, creative writing, English, whatever assignment I'd have, I still have the papers today. They're all on like a typewriter.
I like the feel of a typewriter.
Oh God, it feels nice.
I like that.
And I still have them all back home, but I live in like Amishville, frig. So for me to pursue the career I pursued at such a young age,
so crazy.
So like you're goddamn nuts. You're whack job. You're crazy. But I did it, and even my friend, even when I got let go from the company because, you know, our clients in California didn't re-sign, I had like friends and family being like, you just take the hit, just get a job, just get any job, like go work at the hospital, go whatever, be a barista. And I was just like, there's no fucking way in hell. Not that I think I'm better than any of that. I love my local barista, and I'm sure I'd make a mean fucking barista.
I feel like I'd be a good barista.
Me too. Damn. But I wasn't going to take no for an answer. And for me, anyone telling me I can't do something, I see it as a direct fucking challenge to prove you wrong.
Me too.
Oh man, it burns a fire.
Spite has got me to a lot of places.
Yeah.
I was like, really?
No, really.
See about that, motherfucker.
I wouldn't be where I am today if it honestly wasn't for my competition and people telling me I can't do something. Really.
It's funny because a lot of shit that I've done has been because people are like, you can never do X thing. And I'd be like, I didn't even want to do that, you son of a bitch, but now I'm going to fucking do it. And because I definitely my mother always telling me, you can do it. You know, I believe in you. You're not an idiot. You're going to make it work. That helped. But also having people be like, this is a stupid dream. It's never going to happen. I would be like, yeah, motherfucker. We're going to see what's going to happen. And I've done it for many things. I did it for Just for Laughs. I'm never going to go there. We're going to see about that. I did it for Joe Rogan. Somebody once said, yeah, you're podcasting, but it's not like you're ever going to be on Rogan.
Oh, I saw that episode.
And then I was like, yes. Then it was in the back of my mind. Like, I'm going to find a fucking way. And then when it happened, I was like, that's right, bitches. Like, I'll find a way. Like, if I'm very...
we're stubborn as fuck.
I'm stubborn as fuck. Yeah. And it has to be a reasonable goal. You know what I mean? Something that I can... But if it's reasonable, I'm going to find a way to make it happen. You know, like I'm going to... And also I have to want to do it too. But it's just, I don't like people telling me you can't. Same thing with kids. That's why I don't like when people do that to kids. Like, let kids' imagination flourish. Let them... try different things. They might be, you never know, some kid that you want him to be the best in his, I don't know, his math class might be the fucking greatest musician in the future if you let them practice with music. You know, let them think about these things and go where they're passionate. But same thing, if somebody tells me I can't do it, they better fucking get ready because I'm going to fucking do it.
I mean, I might fall on my ass a few times.
Oh, many times.
Crash and burn and fucking...
repeatedly.
But I always get back up. I don't know what it is. It's just... Can't stop, won't stop. But I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You must have been so nervous, right?
Yeah.
For Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
That must have been nuts, right?
Well, I was nervous because it's rare. I don't fangirl over a lot of people.
Me neither.
Because I don't look up to.
Isn't that weird?
But there's specific people that I didn't know was going to happen. It happened with Joe Rogan. I was kind of like, oh, I can't believe it's Joe Rogan, you know? Because it's a weird thing. Like, I look up to him in the sense that everything he's done and his comedy and all that, but also there's a lot of respect.
Everyone puts him on a pedestal, so it's kind of like endearing. It's like, okay, I'm in here with this guy.
The guy, also, it's just a level I'm talking of respect of when I see everything he's built over there and what he's done. I'm like, how do you not respect this? This guy took a dream, a hobby, and he's like, fuck you guys. I'm making this more than a career. This is a lifestyle now. You know, if you don't respect that, there's something wrong with you. So it's only been him and The Weeknd that I've like fangirled, like I've been like, you know, weird in front of, because I guess it's two people that I listen to a lot and I don't realize. Yeah. And then when you meet them, you're like, oh fuck, this is weird.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a cool experience.
Did he treat you respectfully?
There was some weirdness before the show, but
because that's what I was concerned about.
Oh no,
because I've seen him, because I also watched his podcast religiously, and I was curious as to how it went down with you specifically, because I've seen him treat guests a little disrespectfully or kind of just like off-putting or interrupting them or...
Well, I didn't have that much. Like, it wasn't like, he was weird with me, but it wasn't like aggressive, you know? It was because something like before the show and shit like that, it got weird. But he tried his best after to, like, he's like, you know, right before the show started, he's like, you want to smoke this? He had something, like, was there, he's like, this is better than whatever you smoke in Canada. Like, don't worry about it. But that also fucked me up in the beginning too, because I didn't realize how strong that shit was. Oh, so in the beginning, when the show first starts, I'm a little fucked up. Like, I'm trying to get myself back into, you're on Rogan, like, don't say anything stupid, you know? There's that. But no, he was, you know, a guy that he's never met. He just met me, like, he doesn't know me from a fucking hole in the wall, you know? So there's that, you know, compound to it. But it was just cool being there. And his people too were all super nice. Like young Jamie, the people that he had there, like security guys and shit. They're all
magic fingers.
They're all super nice dudes, and that's why I think they're able to make what they made. They're very positive, and they're happy to be doing what they're doing. And they also did all of us a favor, and people don't know.
Yeah.
People don't realize that as soon as Joe Rogan signed that Spotify deal, all the jealous people that were mad at him, it's because they're talentless. He set a price point for all of us. We're not all going to get 100 million, but the fact that he legitimized all of us, you should fucking thank him. But instead, people were angry. They're like, look at this guy, $100 million. No. And then Alyssa Milano came out and she was mad because she didn't get a deal. And she's like, yeah, but you didn't get a deal not because you're not Rogan, but because you're not liked. Your podcast isn't as big as Rogan's, that's why. But the fact that there's money there, you should be motivated. You should know that you can have a business. You're not going to make $100 million, but you can do something. You know, he did everyone a favor and he didn't get the proper thanks for it, I find. He was just called a sellout. And he didn't sell anything out. He licensed his show. He's doing his show how he likes it. He just licensed it out for a shit ton of money. That's the smartest fucking deal ever.
I know.
You know?
Haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate.
Where is he now? In Texas?
Yes, he's in Austin, I believe.
Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
Again, does what he wants.
Yeah.
How do you fault someone for? He did like Mike Ward. He fucked off now. He's like, you know what? We could do the podcast remotely. We're doing it. He Skypes in. Yeah. So he bought a place like up north.
Yeah.
Just chills with the wife. He's like, fuck, I relax here. He goes, the fuck am I going to do in the city? Everything's closed. He's like, I'm Skyping in. He goes, I can't do stand-up anyway. He did the same thing as Rogan. He's like, I'm going to fuck off. What am I going to do in the city? Yeah. People like that they look to, instead of appeasing everyone, they looked, okay, where am I most comfortable? Where can I be most creative and comfortable?
Yeah.
They go further, you know, because he's like, I'm going to make myself comfortable. Why would I be in the city? Everything's closed. I can't do stand-up. I hate the city. Fucking, they left.
Yeah, there's a fine line, and those lines get crossed or construed for me as well, but that balance between knowing that you're doing something to better you and then doing something to appease the people. Like, what do they want? What do I want? What do I need? How can I kind of mix both of those things together to be a good thing? Because the last thing you want is to kind of be doing something to please someone else for for 10 years and then realizing like, fuck, I'm miserable.
Oh, fuck. That's what scares me. I think my fight or flight is I never want to go back to a regular 9-to-5 job.
Me neither, God.
Scares the shit out of me.
Me neither. Never. My goal, because I moved out really young. I moved out last year of high school. I must have been 17.
Oh, fuck.
Left to Montreal with like $50 in my pocket. I remember this vividly because my parents were arguing in the car the entire way there. They just dropped me off in my bags like, bye.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I was just like, fuck this.
I'm going to make it.
Like to me, escalators were still a magical
Yeah, you were fucking half Amish, basically.
Yeah. I had never taken the metro before, a public transit bus. It was so wild to me.
Yes, a local crackhead. Good to meet you. Yeah, it must have been weird.
Yeah, but I always stayed so tacky. I always stayed true to myself.
I would go hunting at night. Those pigeons that were running around, I was eating them.
Actually, the amount of skunks I saved, because I went to John Abbott.
Okay.
And I only went there because to me it looked like Hogwarts, School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. And to me that was pretty sexy at the time.
It is kind of Hogwartsian, yeah.
Yeah, and I used to run around St. Anne de Bellevue and rescue these trapped skunks because there was like a skunk thing going on in the West Island at that point.
Did you live in the West Island?
Yeah.
How did you like that? I've never lived in the West Island.
I was there for like 2 years, and then
Does it feel weird?
I say I graduated from Abbott, but I don't really know if I ever graduated from Abbott.
But how do you feel? Like in the West Island, does it feel like you're disconnected? Like
I thought I was in the big city.
You thought the West Island was the fucking big city?
Yeah.
God damn it.
I know. That's how far out of off grid I was. Okay. I moved to St. Anne's and I was like, whoa, there's buses.
It's a goddamn town.
Yeah, but there's so many rich kids.
That's where a lot of rich people live.
So many rich kids smoking dope is what I realized at Abbott going to college there.
I knew a girl who grew up around there and she told me it's because we get really bored. I remember I was young.
For sure.
And I asked her, I go, why do you guys have money? Like we don't have money. I go, you guys have so much money. Why do you guys do so many drugs? And she goes, there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
We're bored. I was in high school when I found this out.
Yeah, I remember my apartment in St. Anne de Bellevue was like the party place on Thursday nights. And it would get so wild. And I mean, I could go into these stories. This is definitely for another time. But they would get so wild. We would, the cops would always show up and give us like a noise complaint ticket.
How much is that? $120?
Yeah, around that.
All right.
Actually, you're pretty fucking dead on.
I get a lot of tickets, yeah. I get stopped by the cops a lot.
So I had this huge top hat, like a magician's hat almost, and they would be so frequent that I'd be like, all right, guys, you know the fucking drill. Like, let's go. Pay up, pay up, pay up. And then they would become so popular that people would stop going to like Annie's and what else was over there?
Moe's. And
people would just come to my place. And so I'd literally hire like these big football player kids to be bouncers outside of my place. And I'd charge like $3-4, like whatever, make a donation.
But you could make money, yeah.
Yeah, so I started making money out of my house parties.
That's fucking smart.
Charging at the door.
I like that though.
Oh, God.
You're like, I'm going to have these parties anyway.
Yeah, I had that entrepreneurial spirit in me right from the get-go.
And then when we met, we were both working at the same place, video game testing.
Yeah.
And that was right before, I hadn't done stand-up yet. But when did you start doing stuff in entertainment? Like whether it was blogs or videos or music, like when did you're like, you know what, I could fucking, there's something here.
Yeah, it started with the gaming industry. I remember I started working in the gaming industry right after my European tour. I like super random went on this crazy European tour with this German like electronica boy band. Also another story for another time. But then I got back to Montreal, didn't know what to do with myself. Got a job at Subway.
How was that?
It was cool. I started selling hash also while I was at the Subway.
Again, entrepreneur.
Yeah, so I'd have this. I called it the golden glory because the hash was like golden, yellowy color. It looked like gold, and it would like bubble when you light it. Anyway, whatever. So I had this like mechanism going on at the Subway where I was drug dealing. I'm not going to say which one. I was about to say which one. Anyway.
Well, don't worry. The government followed suit. Years later, they started selling hash too.
Exactly. It was on Sherbrooke and DeCarry. What the hell was I getting at? Yeah, I got into the gaming industry. And then from there, that's when my buddy Steve actually was like, hey, you've got this like persona about you. I'm affiliated with Montreal Comic-Con. My buddy Steve at the time, before he started pursuing music, had this company called The Gamer Nerds, which was like a news entertainment, like YouTube video thing, delivering gaming news on, you know, new games, new consoles, specs, all of that stuff. And so he hired me. And then that kind of like exploded. And then I got heavily associated with Montreal Comic-Con and started hosting these crazy panels every year.
Yeah, it's true. I fucking remember that, yeah.
Yeah, so I started doing that. This year would have been my 7th or 8th year doing that, which is so crazy. So I'm very grateful for, Cliff and everyone associated at Montreal Comic-Con for even giving me that opportunity, because every year our panels would like sell out, mostly because of the title and the context and the content of our panels, which were mostly sex and race. Like it would be sex and race, gaming and dystopia, and like how women are portrayed in games, and violence and culture, and you know how Black people are portrayed in games and how is that changing. And it would like filter and change into like movies and the entertainment industry and the Avengers and how that's changing. The
Avengers is bullshit. There's nerds yelling. I've only been once to Comic-Con.
Really?
Only last year, because my buddy was signing autographs.
I'm surprised, actually. I would have pegged you. Okay, I'm gonna rephrase that.
I'm a huge nerd.
I'm not gonna peg you.
Yeah, no pegging.
I would have thought that you were for sure one of those.
That's what everybody told me. I'd never been anything, and I wasn't even last, because my buddy was there. He was signing autographs, so he's like, "Your name's downstairs. Just come hang out." And I was like, all right, I'll come. And then I went too early. So I was like, I'm not going to, because he had a huge fucking lineup like in front of him, like to sign shit. So you're not going to go bust people's balls. So I started hanging out with random people. I met some kids playing Pokemon. And I was just talking to them about Pokemon. I was like, so how do you guys play Pokemon? Like, how does this card game work? And then kids that were playing Magic the Gathering and stuff. And I was like, how does this work? And then there was kids playing Magic. The kids playing Magic, I was fucking having a blast with them because I was making fun of them, but in a good way. And yeah.
Don't knock Magic the Gathering.
No, I like Magic the Gathering. I was just because they were kids and I was just having fun with them. And I was like, so I understand your parents just drop you off here and you just fuck around? And then they're like, yeah, and then we walk. But there's all these fucking weirdos. You tell me none of these guys are pedophiles. And I was like, there's jokes you shouldn't tell kids to scare them. But I was like, but there are a lot of weirdos here. Like,
for sure.
Are we not in agreement that there's fucking weirdos here? Yeah. So then when I was done, I go see, he's like, what have you been up to? And I was like, I was hanging out with some kids. They were playing card games. We were talking about pedophiles. And he's like, what? What the fuck?
You're officially one of those weirdos.
He's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But it was fun. But yeah, or else I wouldn't have gone. But it's just because I was invited. I said, I'll go hang out. It wasn't as what I expected. There's just a lot of booths of people selling shit mostly.
Yeah. It's a lot of booths, but yeah, that's how my hosting career started, was through the gaming industry. And then that kind of propelled into MTL Blog, which lasted a fleeting moment. And I don't want to get into...
Is that shit still around?
I think so.
Is it okay that I hate it?
Sorry, I burped. You're probably going to pick that up. Whatever.
Is it okay that I hate Montreal Blog?
I don't like them.
Yeah, I just felt like all the shit they were writing was bullshit. It was a lot of clickbaity nonsense.
Yeah, I did not have a great experience with them.
Okay, so they were also assholes. Me, I thought it's just they didn't know how to do news.
Yeah.
I don't know how they are behind the scenes.
I'm not into like burning... that bridge has already been fucking... been crumbled.
Yeah, you used to do videos and shit with them. What the fuck happened?
I remember I was like 19 I must have been 20. And they were offering me my very own show called The Spill.
Nice.
And it was me and Alex Melky. And
sounds familiar.
He's also a host, an entertainment host and personality.
Cool dude.
He's actually still... I have nothing bad to say about Alex. We've worked together.
So cool dude. All right, that's good.
Very opportunistic. But who isn't?
Okay, yeah, let's...
So anyway, whatever. I just felt like they completely took advantage of me because I was young and naive and they were, talking big things, big money. Essentially, the show was called The Spill and I was like 20 years old, like reviewing sex toys online.
What?
In hindsight, I'm like, what the fuck was I doing? Oh my God.
So you review, that's pretty funny though, but.
And like talking about like restaurants and what to do on Valentine's Day and like relationship kind of thing and like taking in questions online. And it was very cheeky, very like young, Did
anybody ever comment? What do you know about relationships? You're a goddamn child.
No, actually, because the demographic was also my age.
Ah, there you go.
So it was just very young, and it was fun, and it was great because I got to, again, have experience and learn and grow from that. But it was a very sharky situation, and I just got completely screwed in the end and didn't make anything out of it, didn't get anything out of it, and in the end, my relationship with them has kind of just like gone down the drain. It was very fleeting, honestly. And then after that, they got into so much shit for like having shitty editors or contributors.
Yeah, it's just garbage
writers,
stuff. I remember
ripping people off, just clickbaity bullshit that hasn't been, And
I wanted to support them because it's from here. I like supporting local.
Same.
And in the beginning, I was like, there's a new thing. It's growing MTL. And then like, why is everything they write stupid? Some of this is really not fact checked. I remember
majority of it isn't.
I would read articles and it was riddled with spelling and grammatical errors.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck this shit. Like, not only is it wrong, but it's grammatically and, there's I go, there's no spell check at this goddamn place. So after a while, it started to piss me off. And then I think I noticed a couple of stuff that I knew was wrong. They would basically write false stuff on rumors or whatever. And I was like, I know this is a lie. And it would just piss me off. And then I gave up on them. I said, fuck this.
Yeah, they were just, and I think they've changed now. Because now they've expanded into...
I haven't heard about them in forever.
So now they're called Narcity, which I think is the parent company, which is everywhere across Canada in every province.
Is it different? Is it good? Is it...
I don't know. I personally do not like to...
Look into their stuff?
Click
their
stuff.
I haven't seen any of the shit, so I don't know.
To each their own, people. Again, I don't want to say anything, whatever. I'm sure their intentions were good, but they were sloppy. They were sloppy and careless in the beginning, which is why they got heat for it. And
I think it was just a thing that happens when like they were young. Because they were young, I guess, the way they sounded. And then, something grew so much bigger than they expected.
And they wanted to take the shortcuts.
Yeah, that's probably what happened.
It was just money, of course. That's all it ever is. And they just screwed a lot of people along the way, myself included. But no harm, no foul. Here I am today. Look at me now.
You made it. You made it, kid.
I'm with Pantelis in the studio.
This is a good studio. This is comfortable.
Dope studio. I'm so proud of you.
Do you feel comfortable?
I'm so comfy.
That's what I want. That's the feel I want people to have here.
Yeah, I'm really comfy. It's nice and warm in here. I even had to take off my jacket.
Right? I don't want it to feel...
breathe.
Yeah, I don't want it to feel very... You've been on set. When there's people... Like, let's say for like the local news, for example. You feel there's too many people around and shit like that.
Yeah, and the lights. For me, it's the lights. And I got to say, like, your lights, they're warm.
Yeah.
They're warm. They're not too invasive. I don't feel like I've got a fucking spotlight on me.
Yeah, I hate doing this. Yeah.
And... I'm not sweating bullets or anything.
No, this is, I like to keep the climate in here. Pretty fucking nice.
My pH levels are...
top notch. I know what I'm doing. I make it comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's next? Where do you want people to fucking find you?
Okay, so, essentially my Instagram is my end-all be-all. It's how I get most of my gigs these days. It's where you can find the majority of my work and my portfolio. And... I'm a jack of all trades when it comes to the entertainment industry.
I attest to this. This is true.
I dabble in all. What is it called? Master of none.
Oh yeah. Well, is it jack of all trades, master of none? Is that it?
Yeah. But I'm having fun and I'm loving it. And, I'm back from California. I'm living in my new swanky apartment in the Plateau. And here's to hoping I can just keep affording it. So hire me. And, you can find me on Instagram. Essentially, it's really creepy. Have you tried Googling yourself recently?
Me? No.
Man.
What'd you find?
An old orgy I took part. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, fuck. I thought you Googled me and you found something crazy the way you said it. I was like, what the fuck happened?
No, Instagram. Instagram.
Yeah, I don't like Googling myself.
Yeah, find me on Facebook, just at Jess Abran, JESSABRAN.
I'm way ahead of you, kid. You don't got to say anything because everything's in the description. Everything's easily linked.
Oh, shit.
What kind of amateur hour do you think you're fucking dealing with here? Yeah, everything's easy. In the description, Instagram, there's links to the YouTubes. There's links everywhere.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's easy.
God. There's some content of me on YouTube that is apprehensible.
Questionable?
Oh, yeah.
Is it reviewing sex toy questionable?
You can probably find my old MTL blog show on YouTube, unless they pulled it. But, yeah, it's probably still up there.
Was it a good show, though? Was it entertaining?
I'd have to go back and see it. They thought it was good at the time. I was having fun with it at the time. Yeah, I actually don't even know what happened with that, but I'm very happy not to be associated with them anymore.
Yeah, well, I've never been associated with them. I've been critical of them for years. I didn't like them. I didn't even know that they upgraded or whatever. Hopefully, things are going well for them. I don't want
upgraded or whatever.
I don't want people lose their jobs. I want them to do well, but I hope I hope it's not clickbaity shit that it used to be. Probably is though.
And you know what? I'm not going to find out because I'm not going to look into that.
Oh yeah, I don't give a shit.
Me neither.
Jess Abran. Click on the links. Don't fuck around.